we have runs of 4 games in a row at home, then 3 in a row on the road, 5 games in a row at home, 3 on the road, and in the month of October we have 1 game at home. So we had 15 dates that we got from the stadium that we could schedule our regular season. And you know we have 15 regular season home dates. We had no flexibility. So there was no chance that we could run our business hoping that we might play one of those October games in our new stadium. The second problem we had was the infrastructure there, as you pointed out, has not started. So the sewer lines, the plumbing, the water, electrical, none of that, roads, streets, fire hydrants, they haven't started there. We think that's a 9-month project. So count 9 months from now, where are we at? We're at the end of the season. We also haven't started the parking garage. And by law, we can't get the certificate of occupancy until we have 4,000 parking spaces in the property around the stadium. That parking garage is 2,000 spaces.
Where's the 2,000?
Actually, a little more than 2,000.
Shut the fuck up!
Thank you.
Buy me a beer.
That parking garage will be done October, November. So again, we couldn't open. Now, what everybody needs to understand was we were already outside the 2009 season. And we're talking about 2010 now, and it's painful, it keeps sliding, but it's really a 4 to 8 week slide that we're talking about. I still believe everything goes well. We're going to finish in 2009, but not in time for the regular season. So I appreciate your frustration. I was working at the Meadowlands back when this conversation started. It just keeps dragging on and on and on. It's a race between us and Xanadu to take the longest to get built. But we're almost there. And I appreciate your enthusiasm, and we need you behind us when we open that place to have the atmosphere that we've been promising everybody.
You kind of covered the stadium timetable as far as that got pushed back, but as far as us now starting 2010, does that have any impact on plans for things like player acquisitions of DPs that we might have been expecting to spend in 09 and maybe won't get a chance to add to the team?
Very good question. I think you all know the most important transfer window is January. And if you look at the schedule, that means the January transfer window leads nicely into our training camp, which leads nicely into our regular season. Now, I'm not promising anything, but that helps the equation a lot versus trying to bring a DP in the July transfer window and then play in Giant Stadium and then move the building. And so from that standpoint, it lines up very well. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the economy plays a big factor in that. And we're already losing money, and I'm not going to get into details, but it's a difficult business to operate in. When you're going to add somebody in the multi-million-dollar a year range, it's a difficult decision in this economy. But Red Bull's committed to this. I mean, you've seen or heard the news, Microsoft laid off 5,000 people. Microsoft, of all companies, laid off 5,000 people. Construction jobs in Vegas, Miami, New York, New Jersey, they're just stopping and walking off. The Red Bull's committed, and we're gonna continue to build this stadium. And Mr. Mateschitz believes in soccer, and hopefully we'll have enough time to talk about what we're doing worldwide, so you get an understanding of it.
Okay, could you talk about the training complex development, and I think you kind of mentioned it before, but if everyone didn't pick up on that, the details of Hanover.
Okay, another economic issue, really. We spent more last year on the stadium than the stadium in Philadelphia is going to cost. We're going to spend more this year on our stadium than the stadium in Philadelphia is going to cost.
Screw Philly.
Exactly. Screw Philly.
What more can I say? Fuck Philly!
disagree with that. Cheesesteaks do not suck. So when you're putting that much money into a portion of your business, in this economy, it's very difficult. And you have to be prudent, you have to be responsible, and aggressive growth in a down economy is not smart. So what we've decided to do with Hanover is take a step back, watch how things go, and we'll reassess it at the end of the year. We're 100% committed to it, and hopefully none of our attorneys are here. We have a lease, we have a developer's agreement. I don't know how we get out of those. We're going to be paying rent next year on that property. So that's a commitment. There's no way out of it. It's just going to take us a little bit more time.
Regarding the new stadium, actually in 2010 when it opens, do you expect that we'll be bidding to host games like U.S. Open Cup games there, and possibly other? I mean, obviously we'll be playing, Super League or whatever Champions competitions we're in. But do you expect that we'll be playing Open Cup games there, or will we play them somewhere else, perhaps in the area?
Well, we expect you to give us a home field advantage. So why would we leave Red Bull Arena?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
It costs too much money to have a couple thousand people at Giant Stadium for a U.S. Open Cup match. That's the simple mathematics. So with CONCACAF, Champions League, and U.S. Open Cup, we're going to use that as an opportunity to move those games around, maybe go to Rutgers, Columbia, other places in New York.
Rutgers! Why Rutgers?
St. John's.
Hopefully we can kind of spread the word of Red Bull and Major League Soccer by doing that.
What's the cap going to be in 2010 after the renegotiation? And is there a chance of a work stoppage?
I don't know if anybody heard that question. It was
Page 2 question. We're getting there.
there was a collective bargaining agreement question. I think our world changes a lot with this collective bargaining agreement. I don't think we jump to a $10 million salary cap, but I think it goes up pretty significantly.
Should. Got to. Has to.
And it's really unfair for...
I bet you need a beach house. The house in North Fork.
I think it's unfair that developmental players make less than our part-time ticket salespeople. It's ridiculous. And we're on the side of pushing the league in that direction. I don't know where we're going to end up. I think it's silly to be overly aggressive. I would like to see something closer to $5 million. That would give us a little more flexibility and some room to grow.
Do you want us to keep this off the record?
Is August here? Is August here?
We don't invite him to
So, yeah, to answer your question, I think the collective bargaining agreement is going to change a lot. It's going to be a difficult negotiation, and whenever you have that, whether it's professional sports, construction, any kind of labor negotiation, you run the risk of a strike. But a strike in this league would be devastating, and I think both parties understand that nobody wants it.
Can you take us through a typical day in the life of Erik as GM?
What?